Now, as we have understand, what is covered, what all data fields are there. Now you also have to ensure, because there would be very new players who would be, starting this journey of e-invoicing. So there are lot of validations. Because the payload is huge, there are a lot of validations. So you need to ensure that correct data is present in your system and right data is pushed to that respective IRP platform. So you need to ensure that the document number does not start with, it doesn't begin with a zero or the special character slash or an hyphen. So you need to check that. Then however, in the document number, the alphabets can be lower, that is fine. Then also you need to have a check in your system that even if it's a reverse charge, you need to push that invoice to generate the IRA. In case if the seller is unregistered, then IRN will not be required. But if you are a registered seller and you have a reverse charge transaction, then you have to generate the IRN. In a lot of cases, we have seen that there is a lot of query, like in case of export transaction, what needs to be done. So because in case of export, your recipient will be an unregistered party, so you need to mention the recipient GSTN as URP. And since it's a overseas transaction, you need to mention the state code, other country, and the pin code as 999, and even the place of supply. So there is a field in IRN payload which derives the nature of the transaction. So that is POS stands for place of supply. So in that also you need to mention other country, which will make it as your interstate supply. So these all things you need to ensure that it is handled in your ERP system, or if you are doing it from, or if you're extracting the data from your system, then you ensure that these details are correct, because through any mode you can generate the e-invoice, but your data needs to be correct. Also in case of IGST and CGST, so here your nature of transaction gets derived based on your supplier state code and the place of supply. So based on that, either it will be an intrastate or an interstate transaction, so that needs to be taken care. And in case of your export and SEZ, it is by default an interstate transaction. Duplicate serial numbers are not allowed in the payload, so you need to ensure that you are not using the same details. So because we do report this data, this invoice data in GSTR1, wherein we have this serial number. So you need to ensure that your serial numbers are not repeating. It needs to be in a proper, it should be a unique number basically in that entire invoice transaction. Also, when you're trying to generate along with IRN, when you're pushing the invoice data and you're trying to generate along with IRN the e-way bill, there could be cases wherein the transporter ID is not correct, or something, the distance which you have passed is not correct. So in such cases, your IRN might get generated, but you might get an error from the e-way bill system. So again, there is a way through which, so once your IRN has got generated, still through that IRN number you can generate the e-way bill. So there could be cases, however there is a different way through which you can still generate the e-way bill. So you need to take care of these things while you're pushing the data or preparing your data. You need to ensure that all these checks are in place in your system.